Hello and welcome to my channel, Becoming Bev. Did you ever have one of those days where the temperature was just perfect and the sun felt so good on your skin? I had old friends there, I met new ones. We had people that came for the first time and people that have been there before and came back. I had my good friends Howard and Mary who just showed up without a reservation just to surprise me. We had great food. We had a s'mores layout that was second to none. We had striped cookies and 2 different kinds of graham crackers and strawberries and bananas and Nutella. It was like a dessert, much more than it was a s'mores. We did a walk through the woods that day, just stopping to notice things about nature and the property, pointing out the pawpaw fruit and how it's, ripe right now, and sharing how delicious it is with people that had never even heard of it. A lot of us went for a swim at the swimming hole, or we just got the lawn chairs out and sat around just getting to know each other and enjoying the river. Several people brought their dogs, and just watching the dogs romp around and play in the river was so fun. And then we had our musicians set up on the deck of the Silver Bullet, our 1973 MCI Challenger bus. We just felt like it was the perfect backdrop for an outdoor intimate music setting. Even the tree frogs joined in to help serenade, while the music was playing. So yeah, I just sat back at the end of the day and I thought, wow, I think I just experienced a perfect day. I feel like our meetup at FredRock was everything I just described and so much more. And for me, it was really fun to see people sitting in circles together and sharing tips about van life and camping and laughing together, and then at the end of our time together exchanging numbers and some of them making plans to meet up later on. Now, we had a few mishaps during the meetup. Darcy slipped on the rocks down at the swimming hole and did the splits, which she said she hadn't done in years. She's okay now. And then Mickey stepped in a hole and scraped her shin, and when she came back all bandaged up, someone yelled, "Now it's a real party." We had to break out the first aid kit. There were snake sightings down at the swimming hole, which gave a couple of people a pretty good scare. It got a bit chilly at night, and some of the people had to break out their blankets and heaters for the first time of the season. Some of us hula hooped and some of us tried.
This was heavy.
We're working too hard.
Way too hard.
Way too hard.
Look at that.
It's a little movement.
Nice.
Woo!
Just be swinging.
Girls hula hooping versus guys hula hooping.
Oh!
All right, there you go. There you go. And then there was this incident. We had a lot of dogs come to the meetup. So one of the dogs went to the bathroom, and Mark picks it up and puts it in the little blue bag and ties it, but he's going for a walk in the woods, and he decides, I don't want to carry this shit around with me, for my walk in the woods. So he puts it along the side, with the thought that when he comes back, he'll carry it to the dumpster. So he gets back from his walk and somebody stole his shit.
Okay, it's a video. Found your shit.
So we had to make this announcement, like, who stole Mark's shit, if this isn't a crock of shit. And, isn't this some shit? Somebody stole Mark's shit. And just had, a ridiculously fun time, laughing and making fun of this. And the joke kind of carried on through the weekend, like, everyone asking, Mark, did you get your shit back? Or did you ever find out what happened to your shit? Anyway, there was that incident. I feel like this was kind of a crossover event. A couple of different groups of people who love their vans. I have my vanner group that I go to the van nationals and things like that. And I felt like they were more like weekenders and show vans and stuff like that. And then I have my van life friends who travel extensively in their vans or even live in them full time. My personality in my van is a crossover between the two. So I have my van set up for full time. I've made some effort to make the van pretty and comfortable. I thought it was sweet when Steve-O got ready to leave. He said, I see one of the differences between vanners and van lifers. Most of the vanners have to go back to work on Monday, where the van lifers are planning their next adventure. So I thought it was really sweet to blend my two worlds. We had show vans, we had RVs, we had camper vans and tent campers and car campers. We had full-timers and weekenders and part-timers. We also had first-timers and experienced van dwellers. We had a really sweet meet and greet where everyone shared their name and, where they're from or a little bit about their story. And it was a sweet gathering, and it meant a lot to me to see people come in. We gathered around the bonfire and we shared stories about what brought us to this time and this place and this moment. And it was really, really sweet to listen to. We were blessed with music from AJ with the band The Seratones. She has the voice of an angel, and her backdrop for her singing was the tree frogs singing along with her. So it was a really, really special event, and I hope you guys go check out her music. So her band name is The Seratones.
Put a spell on you, 'cause you're mine, you're mine.
Also, the next night we had music from Shannon Cox, who is a local musician there in Fredericktown. He surprised us and brought this woman named Selena, and we were all like, oh my God, she's amazing.
She was lying there, moonlight dancing off her hair. She woke up and took me by the hand. She's gonna love me in my Chevy van. That's alright with me. Woo! Is that close?
And then we had our own musicians. We had Grandpa Steve, who made quite an effort to get to the meetup. He took a train to the Arcadia train station, which is about 40 minutes from FredRock, and then hired a Lyft driver to bring him there.
It's good to touch that green, green grass of home.
And then we enjoyed listening to Mark share some music with us as well.
Kitchen. I can hear them there buzzing, and I ain't done nothing since I woke up today.
It was really sweet when Howard and Mary rolled in to surprise me, and they gave me one of the coolest gifts. It's a little hand-carved plaque of Jennifer Vaniston that says Becoming Bev across the top. Now, several people brought their fur babies with them. We had Bo, this little pup, and I just happened to catch this photo of him smiling, which gave me the best giggle. We had Daphne, the blind dog, and then we had this black lab that I've never seen a dog so obsessed and have so much fun with the swimming hole. This dog was chasing tadpoles and fish for probably an hour and a half, just kind of obsessing over it. So this dog enjoyed the river more than any other animal I've ever seen.
He is a water dog for sure.
So he was fun to watch. I just want to share with you what my friend Jer said about one of the things he noticed about the difference between vanners and van lifers. Okay, so here's what he wrote. Thank you, Beverly and Misty, for putting together a fun gathering of unique people. I've been trying to figure out if the best description is a crossover event or a blending meetup. I found so many similarities between vanners and van life people. What a vanner calls a truck-in, A van lifer calls a meetup. Whatever it's called or however it occurs, it's a gathering of people from different backgrounds who hang out together, have fun, and find common ground. They often share a potluck dinner, then enjoy live music. The one thing in common is the van they arrived in. Each van has been customized to match the needs and preferences of the individual who drives it. There may be similarities from one van to another, but there are no two alike. What a vanner calls a show and shine, the van lifer calls a show us your rig. We clean up our tiny spaces and open the doors and say, hey, check out my uniqueness. Each van comes with a story of some kind, describing with pride what has been accomplished and adding the footnote of what the next customization is going to be. There is a difference I see between a vanner and a van lifer. When out in public, a lot of vanners enjoy the attention their vans draw. As a vanner, when I'm at a gas station or rest area, I love to hear, hey, nice van. Rolling down the highway, passing vehicles, do a tap on the horn and a thumbs up, and that makes my day. By contrast, a lot of van lifers want to keep a low profile, a stealth mode. At the end of the day, they might roll into a Cracker Barrel parking lot, shut down, and get a good night's sleep. They want to be invisible so they don't get that knock on the window in the middle of the night. Many van lifers have solar power so they can be off-grid for long periods of time. Remember the saying, bikers do it in the dirt, vanners do it in comfort. Maybe we should add, van lifers do it longer. I also want to share Cindy's story with you. I had her stop and record it with me. It's like I just go out there and do my thing and I don't have a lot of fear around it. It was interesting for me to realize that some people do. I felt like it was important to share her story, and I felt like maybe it might make a difference for some of you that might be on the fence about it or having a little fear around taking off in a van.
I had been wanting to do this van experience, and I hadn't really shared it with a lot of people because I was kind of concerned that I would get negative feedback that, you know, it wasn't safe, or what do you think you're doing? You don't know how to camp. And I had been watching Bev and a few others, and she mentioned when she was on her trip that she was going to do this meetup. This is literally my very first trip ever. I'm from Oklahoma, so I came across over to Missouri, but before I decided to come, I wrote it in my calendar the day that she posted it, and that was in August, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so when I turned over the month of September, it was right there in great big letters. I had written it down, and I thought, oh, you're not going to go. You haven't been camping. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know anybody. I was very hesitant, and I just kind of went on about my day. And almost every single day, it popped back up into my mind. Give it a shot. Just try it. It's gonna be, if it's bad, you can leave. You can get in your van and come home. It's, it's not a big deal. So I kept putting it off. I would not agree to do it in my head. And I hadn't talked to anybody about it, so nobody was encouraging or discouraging. It was all right here. So I called, and Misty picked up the phone, and I said, I understand your mom is going to be doing this meetup, and is that still on? And Misty said, oh yeah, absolutely. And I said, well, about how many people are going to be there? And she said, well, right now it looks like maybe 30. And I thought, well, that's enough people. I can get lost in the crowd if I'm not comfortable. And so I said, well, is there still room? And she goes, oh, absolutely. So she signed me up, and even then, I was like, oh, well, we'll see. It's not that much money if you don't go. And then I started getting excited. I started thinking, well, what if this is wonderful? What if you do meet friends? That's the whole purpose of this van, was to do something outside my comfort zone, to start having adventures, to meet new people.
What are you barking at over there? All right, so go ahead.
Well, so then I got in the car. I started getting real excited, and I started thinking, okay, well, what do I need? How am I going to pack? Do I have the right things? And of course, you second guess when you've never done it. And all the way over here, I was excited, but I was also very, very nervous. When I pulled in, and I didn't come down very far. I mean, I literally stopped, and I was walking over to the very first van I saw just to ask, is there somebody I check in with or what? And they were like, oh no, just park anywhere. And there was a woman in another white Ford Transit Connect, and she had a roof deck, and she was setting up on her roof.
Bex.
At Bex. And she just started going, over here. So I pulled in next to her, and from the second I got out of my vehicle, it was so warm and engaging and welcoming, and everyone has been so helpful and encouraging, and I feel like it has really opened up new experiences, new people. I've made some friends, and it has made me feel very, very eager to look for the next opportunity. Now, I will tell you, I had several people come up to me and say, you hit the jackpot with this being your first one. Don't expect them to all be this great. But that, I needed my first experience to be absolutely this. And it truly was wonderful.
Yay.
And I can't thank Beverly enough, and I cannot wait to see what she does next. And hopefully she's doing this next year, and if she does, don't you miss it. I don't care how scared you are. I don't care what you think you can't do. If you show up, these people will open their arms and welcome you. Aww. And it will be a great experience, and you will not regret it.
All in all, we had a great time. I know Johnny's planning on doing another meetup next year, and so am I. I'm thinking maybe September 11th through the 14th of 2023, and I hope to see you there. I'm on a trip right now, and I was at the airport waiting for luggage. Someone kind of yells out a little bit, Bev, and I turned around and I said, yeah. It was a woman who watches my YouTube channel and recognized me, and I remembered her. She'd mentioned recently losing her daughter, and her comment was, sometimes she wakes up at night and she can't go back to sleep. It's like the grief is so heavy. And she said, I put on your videos and it just takes me to other places and makes me forget, you know, for a while. So that was the comments that she had made. So when she introduced herself, I was like, of course I know who you are. When I would read her comments, I would just wish I could go scoop her up and, you know, take her away. So that's exactly, you know, what happened. Her friends brought her on this trip. She didn't know where she was going. And then she and I got to meet and randomly connect at the airport here. So, you know, shout out to Cindy. I just felt so blessed to get to like give her a hug in person. Whew. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. A special shout out to my channel members and Patreons. I appreciate you so much. That, Howard?
Yeah, right. I was saying what a nice day it is. No, no, I said being here and meeting all the van life people. I've seen a bunch of stuff in vans that I'd never seen before. It's really neat. A good experience.
That's shocking.
And FredRock is an awesome campground.
Thank you, Howard.
I love it.
Modern day Moses, searching for the promised land.